What's up everyone? In today's video, I'll be sharing the top 5 lessons I learned from doing a no added sugar challenge. If you find the information in this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe for more. The first lesson I learned that I'd like to share with you is to be ready to fight. If you're looking to do a similar challenge or even just some other health goal, it's important to keep in mind that the journey ahead will not be smooth at all times. There will be bumps in the road. When I started this 30-day experiment, I had no idea what was going to happen. The first 2 weeks were truly an adjustment phase. In the first week, I had a major headache and even a very depressed mood one day. There will be times where you feel like giving up and where you feel like the challenge or the goal you're working towards is taking forever. It's so crucial to keep in mind to have this mindset of going in ready to fight. There will be challenges ahead. But when you have that mindset, it does make things easier because you're going into it with that mental fortitude. Lesson number 2 is that temptations are temporary. Even though it's extremely hard to resist in the moment, those temptations will come and they will go as well. It's funny because your mind gets very creative and will tell you all sorts of excuses to give into that temptation. I still remember on day 11, I was walking through the grocery store and a major sugar craving hit. It didn't help at all when I walked by the sweets section. But going back to lesson number 1, I knew it was going to be a fight. I truly struggled in that moment. But once I got out of the grocery store and that temptation went away, I felt incredible. That feeling was just unbeatable. So remember, when you're fighting through that craving, once you get past it, you will feel amazing and you will never regret not giving into that temptation. The third key lesson, or something to be mindful of, is that there will be social pressure. So it is essential to optimize your environment as much as possible. This may look like going out less with friends if you feel too tempted, or choosing to go out to other healthier restaurants when you do hang out with friends and family. There were seriously countless times where my father and mother-in-law would offer me something sweet or delicious. They weren't doing it with any bad intent. It actually was out of the kindness of their heart. They wanted me to have something sweet, but at the end of the day, I had to resist. Going into a challenge like this, it's important to know that there will be social pressures. Remember to do some mental preparation so that when you are in those situations, you'll be better equipped to handle it. Lesson number 4 is that cravings never leave forever. They will come back, but they do become more mild and manageable. It wasn't until towards the end of week 2 where I felt my cravings became much more manageable. My body and mind became accustomed to saying no. So remember that the more effort and the longer you put in towards this type of a goal or challenge, the easier it will become. Those cravings or temptations will become more mild and manageable. Last but not least is to be aware of your triggers. We all have different weaknesses, all have different things that we crave, so it's important to be mindful of those things. I highly recommend writing down your own triggers because triggers are what start those cravings or those initial temptations, whether it's subconscious or not. You may not know all of your triggers up front, and that's totally fine. So it's important to write those down as you go throughout your challenge. For me, there are definitely some types of sweets that I crave more than others. Ice cream and boba drinks are definitely my number 1 go-tos, and I don't gravitate towards candy bars as much. So something I did, which was kind of interesting and may not work for everyone, there was a Snickers in my home and I left it out throughout this challenge. I felt like it was a temptation that I could resist. And the last bonus tip is to remember that it's okay to not be 100% perfect. There were a couple times where I had either some ketchup or a sip of soda, but instead of getting too down on myself, I try to look at the positive and keep moving forward, which leads into this last quote that I came up with during this no added sugar challenge. If you put in the hard work and don't give up, the desired outcome becomes inevitable. I just love this principle and feel like it can be applied to many areas of life. Okay, so I tried to keep it short and sweet. Please let me know if this video was helpful. In April, I'll be doing a 30-day walking challenge, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And yes, this is my son's blanket that says, "I love mommy and daddy."